Hello Game Gumshoes fans, Chris here with another review. This time it's a game called Poo. And Poo's an interesting little game where you're rival monkeys, and the object of the game is to be the least dirty monkey. How do you get dirty, you ask? Well, that's simple. Basically, on your turn, you'll have 5 cards in hand, and so will your opponents. And you have the opportunity to use Poo cards or special Poo cards to make sure that you're flinging Poo at your opponents and getting them covered in Poo. Now, once your opponent is covered in 13 pieces of Poo, then they're out of the game and you can continue playing until there's only one of you left. Now, I really love the fact that in Poo they had a sense of humor. If you know anything about some of the chimps in the past, or apes, or what have you, then you'll understand the Poo names. You've got a pellet Poo, which is kind of just your basic Poo. It's only worth 1. Then you have Chim Chim Poo, although the artwork looks nothing like Chim Chim. There's the Bonzo Poo for the older people who remember, like, you know, silent films. Then there's the Mighty Joe Young Poo for kids my children's age. Then there's the King Kong Poo, because, hey, who doesn't like King Kong? But, although the King Kong is worth 5 Poo points, the kicker is the big one. The big one is worth 7 Poo points. When you have special Poo cards, the highlights I want to point out are Grandpa Poo, and please read it carefully when you're playing. And in fact, with all these cards, read them carefully when you're playing because it does make a difference. With the Grandpa Poo, you actually play this out in conjunction with 2 of your regular Poo cards. And then your opponent has to defend against, you know, both of them differently. So a block card or mishap card might work on one, but if you don't have a second block or mishap card, then you can't defend against the other one. Which takes us to defending against Poo being flung at you. You have clean cards, which have this nice little blue text down at the bottom. And you have defense cards. Sorry. The clean cards, don't worry about them just yet. You have defense cards, which have this little green border down here. And you have mishap cards, and they do say mishap and stuff like that down there at the bottom. And each of them help you dodge or whatever. With the block or with the defense cards, you have things like block, which is just your basic block, and then you have something like my favorite thing, which is Buddy's Face. Now, Buddy Face is one where you grab your buddy and you throw him in front of you. You can choose the person to the right or left of you, and they have to take the Poo. There's nothing they can do about it. With the defensive or the mishap Poos, you have things like Slip. Now you can play it immediately as they're playing the Poo at you. With Slip, they actually slip and fall and the Poo lands on them and there's nothing they can do about it, which is very fun. And then there's also the Cramp. They fling their Poo, but they tried so hard, they lose their next turn. And these are just highlights of the defensive type cards that you can use. Not to say that it's all of the cards you get to use. Now, if you do happen to get Poo on you, there are the clean cards, which I kind of sort of mentioned a little bit ago, and they have different things that they can do to for you. There's like take a dip in the pool, and this one allows you to clean 4 Poo off yourself. You can also clean Poo off your opponents as well, and in a way that kind of does come into play. It all depends. It just we'll get to that in a minute. And then there are fun cards like, let's see, Sharing the Love. Sharing the Love is a fun, clean card because you get to basically rub your Poo on an opponent and they take some of your Poo from you. Like I said, you'll have 5 cards. You'll get to play 1 card per turn. Sometimes 2, depending. There are some modifiers, like the event cards, that allow you to take extra turns and allow you to play extra stuff. Tigers Out is fun. It's a very good defensive method, but you know, it can be a hassle in a way. We found that out the hard way yesterday when we were playing with my mother. A little difficult situation, but we managed to muddle through. Now, the reason why cleaning your opponents might be a good thing or might not be a good thing is in the deck, and depending on how many players you have, there is the golden banana. With the golden banana, it actually, once you hit 13, you get the golden banana. So instead of going out of the game entirely, you're basically given this, here you go, but the golden banana does start you back in the game with 8 poo on you. So you're not free and clear, you're just not poo covered yet. There are 2 in the deck. We have used them both. In fact, yesterday I tried to do something very, 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 very clever, and it backfired on me. The poo card was not there for me to use, or the golden banana was not there for me to use because I forced my mother out twice and ended up losing the game because I forced her out, then she and my daughter ganged up on me and put me out of the game until one of them was declared the winner. But Poo, it comes in a nifty little box. It has the little divider in the middle. The rule sheet is just that. It's a little teeny tiny sheet. Very basic rules, easy to understand, easy to learn. You can take it out to restaurants if you don't mind, you know, people going, why are you throwing poo at each other? But that's all up to you, really. And most games are like that. It says that you can use whatever you want as your poo counters. Myself, I went to a game store locally, and they happened to have really enjoyed the game while they were at one of the game conventions. And one of their people came back and made little Fimo poo counters. In case you're not sure what Fimo is, it's a plasticized clay. And so we have our own personal poo counters that look like little turds. And he even has like little pieces of corn in some of them. It's kind of funny. But Poo, very good game. Go ahead and check out the written review. It'll give you a little bit more details. The quality of the cards is excellent. The box is pretty good. I do need to put a rubber band on it though when you're carrying it around, if you carry it around a lot. If it's just something that's going to sit on the shelf at home, and maybe not so much. But thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope to see you on the next one.